Hello everyone, my name is Josh Maurer. I'm instructor of Broken Plow. I teach longsword on Wednesdays, and today we're going to do a little bit of follow-up video based in part on what Josh and Cody talked about with distance and effective range, and we're going to talk about what we can do at different effective ranges and how to acknowledge where we're at and what we can do. So, just to reiterate what Josh and Cody were talking about last time, distance is something you're trying to figure out, and something where you're trying to get to that go line, and you're trying to figure out where that go line is, trying to figure out what their distance is to be able to do what they need to do safely. And then effective range is where I can actually do the thing I want to do, whether it's thrust, whether it's cut, slice, or whatever. That's the effective range. And you can get to the effective range from different distances. Like you can be outside, step in to get the effective range, or you can be in, step back out to get to the effective range, or you can step around, stay at the same distance, and that same effective range, just attacking from a different angle. But let's talk a little bit about decision making. Let's talk about, like, when we're at a certain range, what can we do? Right, we talked about there's an effective range for things, but how do we decide when to do certain things? So let's start outside again. So further away to closer. So if I'm out here, I'm not touching bottom, but I'm still very, very close. I can thrust off. Now I have the opportunity to thrust off from way out of the frame, upstream, until I hit it. The moment I can't put the point in bob, I'm not thrusting range. At that point, I'm at a different range. And if I wanted to thrust, I'd have to step back and get the point effect. So that's thrusting. That's the range you have to be. You have to be at least so you get the point in front of the target. Otherwise, you can't thrust. So let's talk about cutting. So cutting, you have to have the point passed. And if you want to make an effective cut, you want to make sure that the point of percussion is the target you're hitting. But if you're just trying to cut, then you have to make sure the point is passed. If the point's not passed, you can't cut. Now you can. Great. So at this range, I can thrust, but I can't cut it. This range, I can't thrust, but I can cut it. So now we talk about slicing. Slicing is a little bit different. Slicing, at the range that I can cut with, I can slice. Or if I'm too close, I can slice too. So slicing can be from cutting range, or we've gone too far past cutting range. And when we go too far past cutting range, that's when we've passed the middle point of the blade. When we get the middle point of the blade past them, then we can't make effective cuts. Not as effective cuts. Because we're trying again to hit with that point of percussion. The moment we can't hit with the point of percussion, or at least around the point of percussion, we've gone a little bit too far to make effective cuts. And we'd have to move to the effective range to make that cut. But if we have the sword on them, we can slice. Just so you guys know, in a natural fight, you don't need to move too far to slice someone's body. Maybe 6-8 inches movement, not a ton, but you need pressure and a slicing motion. When you go to tournaments, you'll read in a lot of rules that it has to be half a length of blade. That's mainly so that the judges and the directors can see it and see that there's intent behind it. But for our cases, slice, it doesn't even need to be that much. But there has to be pressure, there has to be movement. And then, of course, the longer the slice, the deeper you can get. And now we're at this range where we can slice, but we can't cut and we can't thrust. But let's say we don't have the opportunity to be able to slice because we can't get the blade on the target for some reason, like they pushed us up really high or side or whatever the case may be, that we can't use the sword Obviously, you guys know that we can, if they push us outside and they're not a threat anymore, we can just come around. But let's say that we're not thinking that at the moment. We're at this range. At this range, we can use this nice little handy counterweight at the end of our blades called the pommel. It's a nice fashion. It really hurts. It's the reason why it scores in tournaments. It's a good effective move. Come on. Pommel, 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 right? And that can only happen at this range. You can't pommel from out here. So you have to know when you can and when you can't pommel. If I want to pommel from out here, I have to step in. Also from this range. If I don't want to use the sword implement, I can punch. Right? I can kick. So I have all my striking abilities when I'm close, right? Because we're in hand-to-hand combat range now. Also at this range, I can grapple. My hands are up high here. I can go for the throw. Or I can grab his hands in an elbow lock, hold in the face. I can push his hands out of the way, step out, and cut. So there's 5 things that we can do. And it all depends on the distance. Cut, slice, strike, or route. And depending on where you are, dictates what you can do. Right? All the way out here, I can't cut, I can't slice, I can't strike, I can't grapple, but I can thrust. From here, I can't thrust, but I can cut, I can slice, but I can't strike, and I can't grapple. Unless it's on the sword. If the sword's not moving, their sword, then you can grab the sword. But you have to make sure it's open. I don't want you guys trying to catch a blade as it's coming in and cutting you, or someone trying to thrust you, you try to catch a blade that's moving and trying to thrust you because you just get your hand sliced. Don't do that. So this range, when we pass the middle of the blade, I can slice, punch, I can kick, I can also come in for wrestling and grapple. So, the closer you guys get, it seems like in sparring, you get less and less sure of yourself what you can do. There's even more options the more closer you get. Now, are those options always available to you because of the size of the other opponent? No, but they're there. So when you're coming to a fight and you come to the oh shit fight, right? We're not talking about entering the fight, because when we're talking about entering the fight, you have to have a plan. Just like Josh said last week, you try and enter into the fight, you come from that go distance, you have to have a plan before you get here. Otherwise you're just going to come in there with your pants down, not knowing what you're doing, and someone's going to open you up. What I'm talking about is when we get there, the plan doesn't work. Or at least the initial plan. And we come to a lot of these oh shit fights, where we're kind of in no man's land into the next thing. An oh shit fight can be all the way out here. An oh shit fight can be here. Oh shit fight can be here, or here, or wherever. The point is that the thing didn't work, so we have to move on to something else. And depending on what range we're at, we can make a decision. And we can also make a decision based on what we drill into our bodies, that we know what to do, right? We can't just say, oh, at this distance I can do this, or I can do that, or I can do that. You need to train the situations. You need to train yourself and drill into your body that it becomes something that's a part of it. Otherwise, when you get the situations, you're not going to know what to do, because your lizard brain doesn't know what to do, because it hasn't been trained to do the thing. And so you're going to be thinking. The other guy is going to take advantage of you hesitating, and you're going to get dead, or at least hurt. So if you're at this distance and you want to train yourself to step back and cut, then drill that, spar that. If you want to train yourself to come here, you step out, on the face, train that. You know, whatever it may be. My sword's out here and I can't do much. What I name it, whatever it may be. You need to train something that you can do effectively. Otherwise, it's just going to be, I know things, but I can't actually do it when the time comes. Now, let's kind of end this class for a little bit more advanced folks. Let's talk a little bit KDF, and let's talk the 4 hanging and the 8 winden. Well, winden. That is the 4 hangings and the 8 windings, because it goes into all of this. And really, I should say these are the last 2 Hauptstücke in the Zetta, but they're the 2 most important parts of the Zetta, because it kind of encompasses everything that's going on. So, 4 hanging. 4 hanging is just the 4 hanging guards. The 4 hanging guards, right ox, right plow, left ox. All the hanging. Not the reserve, but the actual, real guards. Those are the hanging guards. Off of the hanging guards, we can attack from 8 different windings, 2 for each. So, if I cut up anything someone, and I'm up an ox, I have, if their sword's on the inside and my sword's on the outside, I have the outside winding, and I also have the inside winding, right? So I can be out here, or I can be inside, outside, well, inside, outside. From on this side of the blade, I have inside and outside. From down low, I have outside, inside. From over here, I have outside, and inside. And that's the case for just about, for all of those, right? Those are the 8 windings. Inside and outside for all of them and where they want to be. So if I'm outside on the left ox, it's going to look like this. If I'm on the inside on the left ox, it looks like this, right? Sword's on the outside, sword's on the inside. That's what the windings are. Off the winding, there are 3 things that you can do with a blade. You can thrust, you can cut, and you can slice. And depending on your distance, you can do whatever. So, if I'm on the inside here, if I have this distance, I can thrust. Or I can cut. If I'm here on the inside, my point's past them, I can cut with a clear. I could step out and thrust. Or slice. But it's all dependent on what range you are in. And that will decide what effectiveness you have. So, when you are parrying, we always tell you to parry either a plow or an ox. And the reason why is because it sets you up for these other counters. And it all depends on distance. I would argue also that while there are 3 things you can do with the blade, all 4 of those hanging and those 8 winding, there's 5 things you can do with yourself. And those are the 5 things we talked about before. Thrusting, cutting, slicing, striking, and wrestling. And depending on your effective distance, your effective range, and what distance you need to be at to do that, you can attack from any which way with all the things that you know. Whether it's duplier, utier, whether it's a master strike really in close, or if it's just a simple naming, or upsets it, or whatever it may be. The point is, you can do all that from all 4 hanging. We can talk about this a little bit more afterwards. You can message me or any of the other instructors, and we can talk to you about this. It's a little bit higher level stuff, but it's not too different about what we're going to talk about this entire time. It leads right into this, the 4 hanging and the 8 winden. My name is Josh Maurer. Again, instructor here at Broken Plow, you can message me or any of the other instructors. This is about talking what we can do at effective range, when, where, and how to make that decision. Thanks.